I used to think leaving was the loudest thing a person could do. Turns out, silence can be louder, and mine had been echoing for weeks. The day everything finally cracked open started with an envelope, the kind my family believed only ever existed for Claire. A crisp, cream-colored one slid through the mail slot and landed at my feet with a soft thud. I stared at it for a long time. My mother's handwriting, tight, slanted, anxious, crawled across the front. Family meeting, mandatory. I almost laughed. Mandatory. As if I still belonged to their schedule. As if I still owed them something. For a moment, I considered throwing it out with the pizza flyers and electric bills, but something in my chest tightened. Not fear, closure. So I went. The gathering before the storm. Their house looked the same as always. Claire's portraits everywhere, the twins' artwork taped in crooked lines, the same faint lemon cleaner smell trying to mask the tension that always lived here. My parents sat stiff on the couch. Claire stood near the fireplace, arms folded like armor. The twins peeked from behind her legs, wide-eyed but curious. The moment I walked in, the air changed. Mom spoke first. Her voice was syrup, sweet but sticky. "Lena, sweetheart, we've all been very hurt." "Hurt?" I asked softly. "By what?" Dad slammed down his newspaper. "By your stunt." He spat the word like it was something rotten. "You abandoned the family trip. You embarrassed us. People talked." I smiled. People always talked. When Claire sneezed. I took a breath, calm and even. "I didn't abandon anything," I said. "I chose myself." Claire scoffed. "That's selfish." For the first time in my life, I laughed in her face. "Selfish," I repeated, coming from the woman who hands me her kids like they're keys she doesn't feel like carrying. Her cheeks flushed red. "That is not fair." "You're right," I said. "Fair would have been someone noticing when my necklace snapped. Fair would have been someone asking if I was okay. Fair would have been anyone, seeing me." Silence. Mom wrung her hands. "Families sacrifice." "Then why," I said quietly, "was I the only one sacrificing anything?" Dad shot up from his chair. "That tone will not be tolerated in my house." I stared at him. "Your house," I said, stepping forward, "is built on the backs of people you pretend don't exist, and I'm done being one of them." The twins watched with round, trembling eyes. For the first time, Claire picked them up protectively, as if I were the threat. But the truth was, I wasn't here to hurt them. I was here to finally stop hurting myself. The secret they never expected me to know. Mom inhaled sharply. "As your mother, I deserve respect." "As your daughter," I replied, "I deserved love." Claire's jaw tightened. "This is ridiculous. You're making everything dramatic." I turned to her slowly. "No," I said, "you made everything easy. For yourself. And everyone else let you." Her mouth opened to argue, but I wasn't finished. "I know what you told Mom and Dad." Her brows knitted. "What are you talking about?" I pulled out my phone and tapped a saved recording. Claire's voice filled the room. Cold, sharp, unmistakable. "Lena can handle the kids. She doesn't have a life. She should be grateful we give her a place." Mom's gasp sliced through the air. Dad stared at the speaker like it was a gun. Claire's face drained of color. Where did you—" "I butt-dialed you," I said, "on the day of the birthday dinner." I heard everything. Her legs wobbled. "I didn't mean—" "You did," I said. "You meant every word." Mom looked crushed, staring between us like a woman watching her favorite glass vase fall off a shelf. Dad's voice broke the quiet. "You called your sister what?" "Someone who should be grateful," Claire whispered. "And you," I said, taking one step closer, "called me free childcare." She flinched. Then, the twins started crying. Maybe from the noise, maybe from the tension, maybe because children sense when adults start falling apart. I lowered the volume, and then calmly, "That's not even the worst part." Mom blinked. "What do you mean?" I turned to her fully. Claire told your entire side of the family that I was emotionally unstable, so they would keep asking me for favors without feeling guilty. Mom's hands flew to her mouth. Dad stared at Claire like she'd just confessed to arson. Claire crumbled, shoulders shaking. It wasn't like, it was exactly like that, I said, and you know it. Her tears finally fell, but I felt nothing. No sympathy, no guilt, no satisfaction, just truth. And truth, when it finally arrives, doesn't need applause. It stands on its own. The final break. Mom pulled herself together long enough to whisper, "Is this true?" Claire tried to reach for her, but Mom pulled away. For the first time ever, my mother chose to step back from her golden child. Dad sank into his chair, shaking his head. "I can't believe you'd treat your sister like that." Claire sobbed harder. "I didn't think. That's the problem. You never have to think, because everyone here thinks for you." Mom closed her eyes, tears slipping out. "Lena, why didn't you tell us?" I stared at her, honest and raw. "Because you wouldn't have believed me." Her face fell, and she knew I was right. That truth hit harder than any revenge could. Claire sank to the floor. The twins clung to her arms, confused and shaking. Dad whispered, "This family is falling apart." I nodded. "No," I said softly. "This family fell apart years ago. You just finally heard the sound." The final choice. Mom stepped forward, voice trembling. "Please, sweetheart, stay. We can fix this." I shook my head. "I'm not here to be fixed. I'm here to end my part in a story I never agreed to write." Claire sobbed harder, clutching her chest like her heart was breaking. Maybe it was, but so was mine for 28 years. I walked toward the door. Mom grabbed my wrist gently. "Lena, your family." I looked at her hand, then at her face. "I know," I said, "but family shouldn't hurt more than it heals." Her fingers slipped from my skin. I walked outside. The air felt cold, clear, open. When I reached my car, I heard the door behind me burst open. Claire stood there, tears streaking her face. "Lena," she cried, "please, don't go." For a split second, I saw the sister she could have been, if she had ever chosen to be. But choices have consequences, and some bridges aren't burned. They collapse from neglect. I opened my car door. "I hope you learn," I said softly, "and I hope they finally see you." Her knees buckled. She sank onto the porch, sobbing. Mom came rushing out after her. Dad followed slowly, carrying the weight of every blind decision he had ever made. For the first time in my life, I wasn't the one holding the family together. I wasn't the one they leaned on. I wasn't the dependable, invisible, necessary one. I was just Lena. Fully, completely, finally, Lena. I drove away. Not fast, not dramatic, just steady. Like someone walking out of a burning house without needing to slam the door. 6 months later. My journal lay open beside my coffee mug. My apartment smelled like morning light and clean sheets. No twins, no shouting, no guilt, no expectations. Just peace. A message blinked on my phone. From Mom. "We miss you. We're learning. I'm sorry." Another from Dad. "I'm proud of you, Lena." And one from Claire, the hardest one to read. "I'm in counseling. I'm trying. I'm sorry. I hope one day we can rebuild." I didn't reply. Not because I hated them, but because rebuilding requires space. And I was still learning what it felt like to live without being used. I stepped outside onto my balcony. The pendant I'd bought on the island warmed against my chest, letting go of old ties. I closed my eyes. This time, the quiet wasn't empty. It was mine. And for the first time in my life, I felt seen, even if the only eyes seeing me were my own. If you enjoyed this story, please like, comment, and subscribe to Clara's Revenge for more powerful karma, justice, and emotional storytelling. Your support helps us keep creating stories that speak to the unheard.